Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez back again. We're going to do one video concerning odd non-standard sizes and how Canon printers tend to handle that customization of say an 11 by 14 or 12 by 18 or even a 9 by whatever. It doesn't really matter as long as it's not one of the sizes that is listed on the size drop down menu. Let's go ahead and open up an image in Photoshop, and I'll walk you through, say with the Pro 100, and tell you and show you what happens when you create a custom size. Now, if you use Qimage, you can likely create many custom size so-called settings and save them and can be reopened. But the thought is that once you create a custom size in the driver, that'll be the custom size that will show up every time you pick custom. You cannot really save multiple sizes, if you will. So let's go ahead and jump into Photoshop. We're going to explore this. There's a couple of things that I haven't even tried yet. So let's go ahead and jump right in and we'll see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, I am in Photoshop right now. Let's go ahead and open an image that is basically your typical 1970s, wedding picture. Here's the bride and groom, and above them, a portrait of them kind of magically showing up on the top. But we're going to go ahead and crop it because we want to try an odd size that is not included in our regular menu. 11 by 14 used to be a very popular size back in the day. So we're going to go ahead and choose ratio. I already have it set. We'll move it about right there. I don't want to cut too much off. And we'll just keep it as is. Let's go ahead and try to print this on our Pro 100. So we're going to go to File, Print, and choose the Pro 100. Photo Printing, Custom. Let's go ahead and click on Custom. I have it already set to 11 by 14. And that's why it came up again. You see, had I set it to something else, say 10 by 20, then it would have come up as a 10 by 20. Let's try that again. I'm going to close the printing module and we'll go to File, Print again. And again, you see that it is set at the last setting that I had. Now, this will happen every single time. As you keep changing your custom size, it will then change to whatever you just recently entered. So let's go ahead and do 11 by 14. When we click OK, it should kick back to 11 by 14. There you go. And that is printing pretty much centered and is going to be a great presentation print for the bride and groom in this case. Let's go ahead and send this image over to Qimage. File, Automate, Qimage Ultimate. Once we get it over to Qimage, I'll be able to just shut down Photoshop. Wait a minute, I already have it to 11 by 14 as you can see. And the reason being is because I saved it. Let's go ahead and just create just an odd size, 8 by 10. Okay, so I'm going to have it so that I get a 1/2 inch border. I already set this, folks, in my custom size. 10 by 13 is 1 inch below 11, 1 inch below 14. That's going to give us a 1/2 inch border. How do we get out of this? We pick some other size. Look, how do we get out of this? Otherwise, you would end up with this, a collage, kind of a picture package type deal. We don't want that. We just want a single print. So we're going to remove all, but we got to get out of this mode. Now, I don't have a 10 by 13 choice here, right? I can create it again or just simply look for the previously saved job. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Pro 100, 11 by 14 with 1/2 inch border, job, and open. There it is. Okay, and we'll just drop that image in. You see how simple that is? Now let's go ahead and test this. Let's create another custom size. That's going to be the golden test for this experiment here. So we'll remove all. We're going to go ahead and go back to the printer settings, properties, and we're going to choose custom, but we're going to change that. We're going to change that to something more odd, if you will. Say, for instance, 9 by, I don't know, 15. 9 by 15. So there we go. We saved it. And there's our 9 by 15. If we were to add that image, of course, it's going to print that way. But it's fine. This is just an experiment. Let's go ahead and save this. We're going to call it 9 by 15. Click on the Save button. Pro-100. 9 by 15. Custom. Okay, just something that you can recognize it and recall, be able to recall it later. That's the whole point. So let's go ahead. We're not going to save it as a job because as a job, we'll then save also this image. We're just going to leave it as settings because we're going to be able to add whatever image we would like to this. Okay, let's go ahead and close this. In fact, we're going to close completely Qimage and we're going to reopen it. And that will remove any doubts that we may have about, say, Qimage remembering the last job. Well, it did kind of remember it. Let's go ahead and add our image. We want to check the printer. We want to see if, oh, look at that, 9 by 15. And if we go to custom, it should be there. See that? Let's close it and let's open up our 11 by 14 template. And the fact that you can then change, in other words, normally I would have to go into the driver and change the 9 by 15 custom size back to 11 by 14 because it only remembers one, the very last custom size you created. It cannot remember multiple custom sizes. But if you save your job or your settings in Qimage, you should be able to recall it. Let's go ahead and do that. Remove all. We're just back to this blank 9 by 15. Again, very odd size, right? Let's go back to 11 by 14 Pro-100. Open it up. Boom. There it is. Now, big deal. It opened up a template, 11 by 14. But let's see if the driver remembers that it should have been set at a custom size of 11 by 14. And that's the key here, folks. 11 by 14. There it is. Now let's check the actual driver settings. Drum roll. Let's see if this works. To tell you the truth, this is the first time I check. Custom 11 by 14. There you go. So that is why Qimage is just freaking awesome, folks. What do you think? And you can do this unlimited number of times or different setups, different custom sizes. And again, in Photoshop or Lightroom, you have to change the size every single time to a different size if you want to do that. Like I have some 9 by 12 paper. It's a watercolor type paper. I have to create a custom paper size. Say I want to then print on 12 by 18. I would have to create a new paper size. I cannot do both at the same time. By creating those different sizes and then saving all the settings as a job, I can just simply go to recall, find the job, and the printer settings will automatically be set up for you, including profiles and everything else you may have, done for that custom layout. It's wonderful. I love it. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is short. Now, this weekend, I'm considering whether I'm going to have the live stream. Maybe I'll do a short one. My wife just underwent surgery Friday morning, and I'm kind of tending to her. She's in a lot of pain still. So she's taking painkillers, and hopefully I'll be able to do the live stream. But if not, I will notify everyone on my Facebook group. Hopefully, I should be able to be with you all this Sunday. So, as always, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And until then, Happy printing, everybody. Bye-bye.